Oh, it's like shove it in your ass, basically.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. So that your butthole is completely open.
That really would be you getting butt hurt, Keith.
Wow.
So when I send you a picture of my dick, it tells me that you took a picture of it?
I follow that. It's more like women's stuff, but I'm into like women's fashion too, because I cross-dress on Tuesdays. So
got a little crazy there. A lot of toddlers screaming and boog.
Blah blah blah. Welcome to episode 3 of the DBLBACK Podcast. As you've hopefully discovered by now, DBLBACK is your news and entertainment cooperative. Think of what we do here on the podcast as if we're just a couple of guys in the bar at the table next to you, being way too loud. We want to invite you into our conversation, or at least let you eavesdrop in a little bit. I'm Dave, your editor-in-chief and your host for the night. I'm filling in for our normal host, Brent, who's out this evening getting a Bosley hair implants. I think that's a good move for him, and we'll see him next week looking luscious. Joining me tonight is our social media editor, Keith.
Hey, how you doing, Dave? Keith, social media editor for DBLBACK. I just must say that I've got a big mind boner right now, and I can't wait to share it with you all.
Ah, that's fantastic. I've also got Ryan here tonight.
Hey, Ryan here from the nation's capital. Hope that Brent's hair turns out better than Wayne Rooney's.
All right, thanks, Ryan. And also we've got Topher here.
I'm Topher. I'm your favorite rapper's favorite blogger.
The really bearded Topher Howden right now. How you doing, Toph?
Me and my beard are fantastic.
You and Burns are both rocking a beard right now, and you're both putting mine to shame. My little...
That's a Kyle Orton chin strap, let's be real.
I know, my sad excuse for a Kyle Orton beard over here is not working.
Look at Topher stroking him, man. You put beard oil in that bad boy?
Yes, sir. I mean, listen, if you can't get a hold of the beard and pull it in like a strong thinking move, you're not doing it right.
And to round out this casting crew of weirdos is Mr. Adam Reckemer. How you doing, Adam?
Doing well. Happy to be here. That's my first time here, popping the DBLBACK Podcast cherry, so looking forward to it.
Oh, no longer a virgin.
Sounds good. What's going on this week, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think that a couple of you fuckers finally watched House of Cards. So we can get into that.
I got on it after I finished up Luther. You told me to get up on Luther, so I had to. But I jumped into House of Cards, and I watched all of it in about a day and a half.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy one. I waited until my fiance was out of town for work. She was actually over in your neck of the woods, Burns.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, snap.
Ouch.
I got a couple of snaps on Snapchat about that, and I did not screen capture them for good reason.
She was she was out there, which left me home alone to just pound all the way through House of Cards. It was pretty damn good, and I was not disappointed.
I peed in my pants a little bit. I mean, there were several times. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
I have Netflix disc at home because I live in 2007, so I get the physical discs in my mailbox. I walk out like some kind of idiot to my mailbox, and I open it, and then I take the disc out, and then I put it in it's called a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, what is that?
Put it in. Yeah, so it plugs into my TV. It's great. It's got all sorts of stuff. So that's what I do. And so House of Cards, I know all about it, but I do not watch it because I don't have this streaming capabilities. I just choose not to. I like my Blu-ray. Got to get my fancy picture.
So, will you mind if we spoil the shit out of House of Cards with you on this call?
Yeah, I don't really care. That's fine. I'll end up watching it sometime. It could be like 5 years from now, and then I won't remember any of this because I don't remember anything that happened, at lunch, before lunch.
So that was Adam's warning, and now, listeners, this is your warning. We are about to spoil the fuck out of House of Cards Season 2. So get ready. Mr. Burns, you were the one that we were waiting on. What did you think of Season 2?
To be honest, I've thought about it, and I'm kind of torn because it was amazing, and it was also very disappointing. I think it all happened too fast. I think they've left too many things open for season 3 where it's just going to get really confusing quickly, or they're just going to end it all really quickly in the first episode like they did this season, and it's just going to... I think you know what I'm referring to with the Zoe Barnes incident.
When he pushes her in front of the train? Come on. I dare anyone not to be like, at the very least, I got a solid, oh, shit, out of it. Like, it was real.
I popped a half chub, man.
A little bit. I mean...
Oh, I don't think you have to be coy and say, you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah,
we're going to get into it.
This bitch is
Full-on spoilers.
Yeah, this bitch is butt naked. Just get in there.
So, when the Zoe Barnes incident happened back in episode 1, I was watching and Alyssa was getting ready in the bathroom down the hall. The sound, the sheer decibel level of my holy shit that I uttered when Zoe Barnes' head bounced off the front of that subway car, I think I may have scared 1 or 2 of her 9 lives away. I was so damn surprised that they offed Kate Mara in the first episode of the season.
Yeah. Well, if you are familiar, I believe it is an adaptation of a British series, and I think that there was a novel written. At the end of the day, if you had any kind of backdrop, like if you read Game of Thrones, you knew all those motherfuckers were going to die. It was similar to this with House of Cards. I mean, if you were familiar with that at all, you knew Zoe was going to get fucked. But to see Frank do it with his own hands, I think that's what gave me the biggest hard-on.
So let's interject real quick. A couple minutes ago, I have no idea anything about the show, and you just said, something about you had no idea she was going to get fucked, and then he said, and the fact that he did it with his own hands, and you mentioned you had a boner. Let's just.
Oh no, you're on track. You were definitely tracking.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's very, very confusing. I don't know what's going on here. I thought she got killed, and then it turned into a S&M type of.
I kind of did. I mean, I don't know. I guess I have some insider information with metros and everything as well. But that like everybody always jumps from the first station where they enter. So I was kind of concerned when they were there.
When Kate Mara's fucking wretched body is mangled up.
There's nothing wretched about that body.
You take it back. You take it back. There's nothing wretched about that body at all.
I was talking about post-train murder Kate Mara.
I did enjoy the scene by scene. Like they gave us that, like you're like, all right, let's see this frame by frame right now, so we can just see that she really died. And you're like, okay, yeah, she's dead.
Yeah, she's definitely dead. Definitely gone.
No, they didn't leave it hanging. Like there's no way, like, oh, maybe she fell to like the opposite side of the tracks, and then in season 3, no, straight through her, just wrecked it.
There was like a splash of blood, which I'm sure doesn't happen, but.
When a train hits you? No, I think it might, Ryan. I don't know how to tell you this, but if you get hit by a train, I think some blood might come out.
You get struck and your bones crushed, and then you get thrown, and then the wheels cut you in half, and then there's blood.
I spent way too much time to dissect that.
I can't argue with that. No, that's real.
It's science.
Science. Hashtag science. Hashtag it's science, bitches.
It's science, Keith.
It'll be trending on Twitter tonight, guaranteed. Follow me at It's Science Keith. It's my new Twitter handle.
Hashtag it's science, Keith.
It is science, Keith. All right. So some other things that I enjoyed was the fact that Tusk had his hand so far up the president's ass that he could taste his watch. I mean, and that became so apparent in season 2. And then you could kind of see that relationship get strained when Frank played his chess game and weaseled in there. But Tusk was running shit, man.
I think that a lot of it's planned, obviously, right? Like the fact that it happened fast and he's getting a little bit more reckless as he finally gets to his end goal because the whole thing is the House of Cards and it's going to tumble down, and I understand. It's just it was a little hard to grasp and how easy you could connect the dots to say, oh man, this Frank Underwood guy is pulling some super shady shit to get into the White House here. Like that's what season 3 is. He's just going to get all exposed, and we're all just going to be like, yeah, okay, that happened.
There were numerous. throughout the course of season 1, I was like, oh, this is good. Like, this is stirring. I like this. Season 2 was absolutely just like, oh, we're going to turn it upside down and shove people in front of trains.
Yeah. No, season 1, if you're going to do an analogy, was kind of like not sure if you're going to go in for the goodnight kiss at the doorstep, and then season 2 is like raw dogging a prostitute. I mean, that's the way I think about it. Just you're going to have to go get checked the next day.
Yeah, you got to go to the clinic when you're done with season 2.
Yeah, that free clinic, because you don't want records.
Oh,
There's
no
records about this.
You're not proud of it, but at the same time, it was worth it.
Yeah, you do it again.
I almost wanted to go back after watching the last episode of season 2, go back and retroactively win some sort of a state or national championship so that I could have a really badass ring to pound on the table like my man Frank Underwood.
You just need to graduate high school to get that. I don't know what all the sports is about.
I knew I fucked up somewhere along the line.
The GED just didn't do it.
God, I should have graduated high school. Shit.
They don't have GED rings?
I don't think that could be a market opportunity right there. That could be a business opportunity.
No, they sell them at Claire's.
Adam.
What I really struggle with is how everybody just kind of laid down for Underwood. I mean, like, what's the chief of staff? She just quit. Yeah. And then Tusk just kind of was like, all right, yeah, I mean, I'll lay down here in court and just tell the truth. You know, China pulled their boats away. It's like all this ridiculous things happened, and it just happened too quickly.
China pulled their boats away because Frank Underwood ultimately offered a better deal. Tusk, I think, that was something that he did of his own conscience. That wasn't something that Frank had, I think, much of a part in. I think Tusk thought he was going to burn Frank by telling the truth. And he ultimately was just a fucking idiot. I mean, he got to be OG and not snitch.
I think it was really made readily apparent that Frank Underwood is the smartest, most powerful man in the room at any time. What I was wondering the whole season was if it takes Frank Underwood, the smartest Superman that could possibly ever get elected to the United States House of Representatives, all of this work to make it to the presidency, how the fuck did Walker get elected in the first place? That guy seemed like such a pansy.
This is the same issue that I had with it. In season 1, it was nothing but setting up obstacles to Underwood, and you're rooting for him to overcome it. In season 2, it was just, we had the thing with Tusk, and it was kind of a weird tussle, but then all of a sudden it was just like everyone laid down, and you stop and go, wait, why didn't he just have a coup and take over the entire fucking federal government? Like, who is it? Who is the worthy adversary now? Like, he's already rolled over the president, so now what? He's killed people, literally murdered human beings to get where he is, so who becomes the worthy adversary there?
I think next season is going to be all about how hubris comes back to bite you in the ass. He's going to try. He's going to
Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it could be a possibility.
Don't rule that one out, guys.
Right?
Is anybody else White House down? We all know how this ends. Jamie Foxx gets elected, and then that same nerd-ass dude, you know, has all the keys to the White House now because he stole them already, and he just gets in there and he takes over the White House. And then Channing Tatum comes in and saves the world. That's what happens in season 3. We've already seen it.
No, he's right. No, that's a good point.
I mean, you can't argue with that.
No, it's science.
Because it's the same bad guy.
My whole frustration with the hubris comes back to burn him in season 3 idea is that, so you built all through season 1, and now he's trying to season 2. Like, if season 3 is all just like Frank Underwood getting kicked in the dick, I'm not 100% sure I want to sit through a season that, like, even with, God bless them just giving it to gorge on it in the course of like 18 hours. Like, I can bust through a whole season in that amount of time. Even still, I'm not sure I'm on board for a whole season 3 of like Frank getting kicked in the dick for 8 episodes and then like a quick resurgence to come back to the hook for season 4.
Yeah. I think that what'll most likely end up happening is Frank is going to take a turn to the benevolent. Frank is going to take a turn to doing some good. He's like, now I'm here. Now it's time to do some good. And they start redeeming and redeeming and redeeming, and then in the background they're setting him up for the fall. And then that's what will happen at the end of the season. I don't know how many more seasons they can hang on to Kevin Spacey and and the rest of that cast. I don't know how much longer that they can.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So I feel like season 3 might be the end of where we go with this, but who knows? Maybe it's making Netflix a butt fuck ton of money, and it'll go on forever.
I'm literally drinking a 25-ounce Bud Light like it's no big deal. That literally I got from the gas station. This shit is warm. It's not even cold. I have zero fucks to give.
Wait, they really sell
after the day I've had.
25 ounce,
yeah.
yeah, man.
No. It literally says 1 extra ounce.
Yeah, because see, they
it's
had
not
the 25 ouncers at the ball game I was at the other day, and I was like, this has to be why it's $11 because there's an extra ounce in here.
Oh yeah, because it's not 2 beers; it's 2 beers plus an extra ounce.
Well, that way you get your 2 full beers, because with those tall boys, usually by the time you're done to the bottom, I mean, that last ounce is just such like spit, piss, just awful. That like
it's a
you
punishment
like,
ounce.
yeah,
Let's be
you hold it up to your mouth.
Punishment ounce.
Yeah, it is.
You have to be a dedicated alcoholic to finish that last ounce, because it's pure punishment. It's not beer, it's not good, it's not tasty, but it's like, I paid for 25 ounces and shit, I should finish this. This was $11.
It's like I have a child's education to fund. I better swallow that last ounce.
College is going to cost me just shy of $500,000. I'm not letting an ounce go to waste.
It's true. To go to Boise State.
The struggle is real.
It's real in these streets.
Can we discuss for a moment the How I Met Your Mother finale?
Yeah,
and
please.
I want to very clearly address that I've seen approximately 15 minutes of the show over 9 seasons.
9, yeah.
So if someone could tell me why the internet is so fucking pissed about a CBS sitcom, I'd be super, happy, because
All right, I'll give you the heads up on this one. Okay, How I Met Your Mother is a show.
Yes.
I watched I watched. By the way, this is the spoiler edition of the Double Back Podcast.
I figured we were covered. I mean,
we're good now. We're spoiling everything here at the Double Back Podcast. All right, so I watched How I Met Your Mother for all 9 seasons. I enjoyed How I Met Your Mother for about 4.5 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah, so it should have. If you take all the episodes that I disliked and chop them out, I enjoyed probably about 4.5 seasons of that show. And the 4.5 seasons that I did like were really good. They were really, really good. There were a lot of good running, recurring jokes that came back. There were a lot of stuff that they would reference back to, in season 7 that happened back in season 1. And essentially that's what the finale was. The finale was, let's close off all these running jokes, or let's at least reference them one more time, and then make Ted end up with the chick he should have been with at the end of season 1. So like that's essentially all that they did. Was there is no suspense in, we're going to introduce you to the mother that you just met at the beginning of the season, and that's going to be the finale. So what they had to do was give it a twist. And I get why they did what they did. I also get why people are pissed off on the internet, because he went back to Robin like 5 times throughout the course of the last 9 years. So it's not a surprise that he ended up back with Robin. It's a twist that's not really a twist, because they've done it 5 times over the last 9 seasons.
Are you still fucking talking about the show?
Did it go on for 9 years? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 9 years.
You stuck around for 9 years of a dry hand job?
Yeah, it was that was the only real comedy on TV that I could enjoy from a network that wasn't The Office or Parks and Rec.
Can I tell you about HBO, and maybe we might make your life a little better? Like let me get you into a premium cable package and change your life.
It's not TV. It's
HBO.
For literally, I guess for the past 9 years, this has been an irritant during March Madness, where every 15 minutes, Clark Kellogg tells me to tune in this week to find out How I Met Your Mother, and I'm like, Clark, I don't give a fuck whoever met any mothers. I'm not interested. Like, unless you're dropping phone numbers, Clark, get out of here.
Give me them digits, bitch.
No, listen, if Clark's got a hookup and he wants to tell me about some mothers and he's got some numbers, then I'm listening.
Clark's got taste. You know Clark Kellogg has taste, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's a smooth operator. If he's going to
follow.
introduce someone into the formula, you know that's quality.
That's a qualified lead right there because it's science. Hashtag it's science.
Like, the super odd thing to me was that, again, like, maybe I'm entirely ignorant of, like, an incredible fandom for How I Met Your Mother. It kind of felt, it was very similar, and I'm going to expose my age here. Like, when the Seinfeld finale happened and everyone complained about it, it was a very similar thing, kind of without the same cultural cachet that I felt like Seinfeld had. It was a similar reaction to the finale.
I think the difference now is that every community gets a voice on the internet now. So regardless of how big or small it was, and to give CBS some credit, they didn't keep a show on that wasn't getting them ratings. The show had some ratings for 9 years. But now everybody gets a voice. So even if that super excited fan base is only, a couple million people, they get a huge voice and they get retweeted and they get this and that. And apparently the finales to comedies on CBS are now headline breaking news, like every tiny piece of garbage we find in the Indian Ocean. Thank you.
Yeah, no shit. Flight 370, we still haven't found it.
I mean, I sympathize with the tragedy that these people are going through who lost their family members. However, CNN, whenever you find a small piece of garbage floating in the Indian Ocean, is not breaking news.
You do not need to call it out like you're playing fucking Battleship. You're guessing, CNN. Knock it off.
It's become utterly unwatchable, and I know I'm not the first one to say it, but it's just you can't watch the network anymore.
Well, my boy Wolf went down that rabbit trail. I mean, game over for CNN. I mean, Wolf had some credibility with me left, but then when he jumped on that bandwagon, yeah, they could all get fucked over there at CNN. Bullshit.
That's a hot take right there.
No, that's science, player. I mean, they can straight up. I'm tired of that nonsense. We dump garbage in the ocean. Like, that's where it goes. Like, and you're surprised to find it. Like, we as people pollute the fucking shit out of that water, and then you're surprised you find some, like, Dasani water bottles floating up to the shore. It's like, you guys are a bunch of idiots.
A styrofoam cooler from Spring Break 2000, you're super excited to find out that I tossed that shit in the ocean.
Because oceans are near Indiana.
Keith drives to the coast to dump his refuse.
I bag everything up, and then I drive to the coast, and I throw that shit in the ocean. Why is this weird?
Yeah, I commit a whole weekend every week. And
Quarterly. You don't have to do every week. Quarterly. Every 3 months.
Quarterly.
He's like, yo, trash dump.
Poseidon comes out and gives me $3.
Exactly.
I'm not crazy. This is normal.
Crisp dollar bills. He emerges from the ocean as the protector of the seas, hands me 3 crisp dollar bills, and I go about my business. This is not weird.
They have bag taxes where you guys are at for plastic bags. You got to pay a nickel.
I don't know.
Anytime you go to a store and they give you a plastic bag, you have to then pay them a nickel to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like
I don't know anything about
I haven't done this. Like, I'm not, confessing to anything like Dave does.
No,
but,
you are.
Like,
you are. Admit your shame, Burns. Go ahead.
No, he doesn't have legal counsel. He can't represent himself in this court.
Oh, shit.
When I pay a nickel, I almost want to throw it on the ground or, like, throw it in the river because it's just so upsetting to me. And the worst part is, then if you ask for a paper bag, they give you a paper bag with no handles. So it's not even really a bag. It's just something you put your items in and then have to hold.
Right. Plus, you have like a giant French bread coming out, and like the big, like the end, like the green end of the carrots, and you're carrying it around with like the kids.
Even at Subway, the bag they put, like they just throw your sub in a bag. You got to pay 5 cents for that.
All right, so I live in the state of Illinois, which
I live in America where you don't pay for bags.
No, the state of Illinois loves to tax me for just about everything. The state of Illinois
still blow all their money on things.
I know, they're terrible with their money. That's why they have to get more from me.
I have a feeling. Do you think that it would go over better with the public if they called it a sack tax? Just throwing it out.
I don't know. There are a lot of men who aren't being laid right now that if you introduce a sack tax,
it might become impossible.
Don't make it worse. Don't make it worse. That's all I'm saying.
Just thinking about Illinois. I'm just thinking about Illinois.
They'd have to call it a sack tax there.
Yeah, exactly. Sack tax.
However, they don't tax me for bags, so I'm wondering if maybe this is a scam that Walmart and Target have pulled on your ass.
Let me weigh in with some science really quickly. This is just the Econ 101 lesson. If you look at any store's expenses, plastic bags are like the number 2 expense. And Dave, I believe you're the one that told me that.
I know, I told you that shit. From hourly payroll, bags are the number 2 expense.
Payroll is 1 and bags are 2?
Payroll, then bags. I learned that from my fiance. She used to run the front end for a Target. That's where we met, at Target, when we both worked there. She ran the front end, and I ran logistics and bags. Surprisingly, number 2 expense.
I tried to work at Target. It's suddenly making sense why I got fired from Target for just throwing bags off and making it rain in the parking lot.
Making it rain bags.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to work at Target, but I failed my drug test, so I did not get it. I was in the hotel. I was out in Colorado with my parents for like Thanksgiving. This was like a college break, and I got the call from Target telling me I failed, and I'm in the hotel room with my parents. Like, who is that? I'm like, that's Target. Yeah, they just called. I failed my drug test. They were like, oh, okay. It was like moving on. It was like like the most minorest of things.
Yeah,
like,
so proud of you right now, Adam.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's like all of the massive amounts of joints, blunts, bongs, chillers, everything that I've been smoking for the last like 8 years.
Yeah, that's
Hello?
Who is it? I failed my drug test? Wait, what? I failed it? Who is it?
I ended up getting a much better job, like right after that, and like this bullshit job where I sat at a chair and did all my homework in college. And I just literally sat there. I sat there, and anyone that walked in, I told them that it wasn't the right building, and I gave them the address for the right one. No shit. Oh, yeah.
And they couldn't have just put a sign there?
No, it was really bizarre.
And you just kept reiterating the sign over the top of it.
This is before the Great Recession, you guys. So.
It was really weird. They had like people in the back room like making phone calls, trying to sell like tickets to like the Bloomington Police Benevolent Society pancake breakfast like tickets, and people would come in and ask for jobs because they wanted, there's like telemarketing. Yeah, they printed the wrong address or something. So my job was to sit there at the front and just tell people that came in. I worked at a temp agency, and I just told him, I'm like, this isn't the place where you apply. You got to go here.
We neither have jobs nor pancakes.
Sorry,
sir. You got to go.
You were the bouncer for a call center?
Your pancakes are safe.
It was good. It worked out for everyone.
No, it sounds good.
Missed out on super employee number 1, and I was a bouncer for a call center. I'm updating my LinkedIn right now.
It's called Johnny Depp and Transcendence.
Does anyone actually know what that movie is about?
Yeah. So basically, he is like this Ray Kurzweil-esque doctor, and he studies artificial intelligence. And he's basically given a lecture, and there's a hate group that does not want to see his work continue. Come out, and this motherfucker shoots him. And he ends up being on life support, and he's gonna die. But they're all really smart. They're working on artificial intelligence. His girlfriend or wife or whatever wants to save his soul, if you will, or his intelligence, his mind, and put that on a computer, and succeeds. And they plug in the internet. He copies and replicates himself, and basically tries to take over the entire world. That's it in a nutshell.
Does that not sound incredibly stupid to anyone besides myself?
I don't know. Her was a movie. It did well.
Oh, shit. You're not wrong. And I would consider switching teams for Johnny Depp. Like, I want to put that on wax right now.
To do what?
I'll switch teams for Depp.
You would switch teams for Depp.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to admit that, but Transcendence looks like shit. And this is someone who really liked Rear Window. No,
speaking of Rear Window, would you pitch or catch if you switch teams?
That's a good question.
I think we're getting a little deep on this question.
Yeah, he wants to get balls deep in Johnny Depp. He just said it.
I would never assume to be the pitcher with a man of Mr. Depp's stature.
Fair enough.
So, what are we looking forward to this week? boys.
Trying to get that image out of my head. I'm gonna start drinking again. I've been dry.
Drinking heavily until that goes away. That's up there.
Yeah, that's high on the list. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be the one to bring this up, but no safe word tonight for your boy?
No, other than trying to single-handedly make hashtag It's Science trend on Twitter, I think you're doing okay tonight, buddy. Ryan, what are you looking forward to this week?
I'm looking forward to potentially purchasing one of those new World Cup kits for the USA because they are purdy.
Wait.
Kits.
It's straight bomb pop.
Yeah, oh yeah. Looks like a Domino's delivery guy.
All right, Toph, you got anything for us for next week to keep an eye out for?
In a move that only Burns will understand, Liverpool is in the middle of a title chase. We have a humongous match on Saturday that I will be absolutely shitting myself through.
Hey, Dave, what about you? What are you looking forward to, man?
Captain America 2 comes out this week, which is kind of good. It's gotten good reviews all over the place, not just from nerd sites, but also legit movie critics have given it pretty good reviews. I didn't think I would ever see the day that Robert Redford would be in a comic book movie, but there he fucking is right there in Captain America 2. I'm really hoping that we can get Captain America 2 : All the President's Men, and that's what this movie is, because that would go really well for me.
I read the run this is based on, and then actually read reviews from people who had read it and said that they did an incredible job of staying true to the source material. So my nerd is fully satisfied here.
I don't think there's anything that satisfies a nerd more than the words "true to the source material."
Amen.
I feel like that just gets me hard right there. Well, that gives me some things to look forward to this week. About wraps it up for this week's podcast. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was good to talk to you fellas. Haven't heard from you, Adam, Burns, Topher. Haven't heard from you guys in a little while. Be sure to hit us up on the site. That's doubleback.com, DBLBACK.com. And also follow us on Twitter. That's @doubleback. Be sure to also check us out on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Come join the conversation. Enjoy your week this week, guys. Finger guns, motherfuckers. Finger guns.